gravity of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back, guys. Good to see you, everybody. How you doing? Beautiful people. Yes, you got that right. Midnight Lace. Good to see the names are back. I see you, Abby Poodle. How you doing? Sadie's mama. Much love to you. Hope you had a good birthday. Anna Fleming. What's up, yo? Marissa Monroe, there are safe havens in every state. And yes, I think we're going to hear that time and time again. Alexi Treviso just had a court hearing today, and Alexi Treviso is very equivalent to this case. All right, guys, you guys, Kentucky cheerleader. She's also a beauty queen arrested for hiding dead newborn in a closet in a bag. Let's get into it today, guys, because you know what? There's a lot of misinformation out there about what's happening in this case. Pictures, when she looks pregnant, when there's a fake pregnancy, what happened? Is she out on bond because it's white privilege? Alexi Treviso's not white, and she's also out on bond living her best life. What's up, Criddles? Good to see you guys. How you doing? And I have been covering the Alexi Treviso case. So go back to my playlist and watch that if you haven't. I don't have the latest up to date. Obviously, I didn't even get to watch the hearing today, but that's a great, what's up, Krista? And for you, born dead or did she kill him? That's what we're going to talk about today. I should have called that this episode for today. In my opinion, she took his life. And I'm going to tell you why, only me. And I never just tell you why, I show you the proof. All right, I show you the proof. We've got the coroner report that kind of tells something. We've got charges that say a little bit of something else. And it's a discrepancy here. Are we going with her defense where the baby came out with already dead and then she put the baby in the closet? That's what we're going to talk about today. You guys can decide because we do not know for sure what happened just yet, but we are going to make assumptions with the proper paperwork. Tracy, a sexy, juicy lime muffin, guilty of crime family. Hope everyone's okay. Been waiting to hear about this case. Let's jump in. Yes, crazy bitch wanted to mini me, but what was all that about? What were the pictures about that she had with her? She had a photo shoot. She's been in lots of different she was kind of, we'll say she's made for the camera. A camera comes, she jumps on, grabs the attention. How much more attention does she need? And yeah, roommate finds a baby dead in the closet in a bag. Now listen, decomposition, especially in Kentucky in the summer, the humidity inside of a bag, and then decomposition of such a small fetus, guys. Or was it a full born baby that would have been okay had she gone to the hospital and gave birth? I don't know, but that's what we're going to talk about today. As you guys roll in, hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. Must be a Leo, you say. What's up, Honor the Mystic Moon? Dandy Lioness, good to see you. Kathleen. I'm so glad the names are back for the most part. Abby Poodle says babies are blessing until you clear their or bluish, I'm sorry, until you clear their airway and they take the first breath. Maybe she thought it was dead, but it should have been moving. So no excuses. And there was no kind of care during her pregnancy. Do we think she didn't know that? Today's the perfect topic to cover today because you might agree with one thing and Rachel Burton might think something else. Anna Flemings might ask, did the lungs expand? Why Matilda Marie is just happy to say hello, crime crew, right? Everybody has their opinions, and this is one of those cases where you can have them with the same evidence right now because this is what we're going to get into. Now, it was a boy, Marissa, and I'm going to show you the coroner report and the arrest report. So come on in, guys. I haven't started anything because I don't want someone to hop in and say, wait, what happened? I really need the very first introduction of what I'm saying for you guys to see and hear, and then we can make assumptions from there. And then if somebody comes in later and wants a quick recap, I can certainly do so. But this one's one of those cases where it's context that matters. Well, context is king in every case. But today, the way we're jumping in, you gotta listen to the context of everything to make sure you make the right assumptions, all right? What's up, MM Clark? Good to see you. Shelly R. Thank you for emailing me. I emailed you back. Jane D says, wait, what happened? Yeah, you know. Right when I say what happened, someone rolls in and says, hey, Jay, what happened? Or, wait, no, Jay. No, that's not true, Jay. The baby was in the closet, and I know for a fact something that you don't know for a fact. So come on in. Love you guys. Meander in. Give me your best thumbs up, and let's get going. All right. This is how we start off. We add justice for baby boy Snelling or baby boy Doe. Okay. Didn't even have a name. She didn't name him. She claims one thing, and the arrest record and the coroner, well, says a little different. Do they no longer teach sex ed in school anymore? Apparently they don't. But well, I have kids and I'll tell you they do teach that. And I'm pretty sure you would notice the difference if you didn't have a period, if you were gaining a little bit of weight, etc., etc. Some people will say she was thin and maybe her diet was different and she didn't notice. That's what the jurors have to decide. And as we're talking about it, you guys can decide as well. Now, I'm surprised there's only 97 people in chat, but really surprised there's 43 people that hit the like button. What's up, garden critters? You might not like the topic of baby being born and then put in the closet, but if you just like the way I present true crime, hit that like button, okay? Thank you. All right, more growth. Yeah, she's 21. This is not like Alexi Treviso that is not even 18 yet. I don't think she was 18 or maybe just about 18, scared of her mom. We haven't heard any of that. And she's 21. She's a grown-ass adult. You're right. There's no reason for her to have done that. Yeah, she's 21. She wasn't 21. She is 21 years old, which is a clear adult. And very consenting to just have a baby with your boyfriend that you just did a photo shoot while in some pictures holding your belly. Come on, you guys know how I feel about that. And shout out to Cheeto the Magnificent from New Mexico, where the Alexi Treviso case also is. All right, so take a look at this. Comments made by classmates of Laken Snelling. Laken Riley's it's a murder case. Okay, now listen, I'm going to read these to you real quick, and then we're going to get into what happened. This case takes different twists and turns depending on who you believe right now. Okay, so comments made by the classmates, and we're going to go on to the social media stuff so you guys can get the full picture. Jay's wonderful. God bless you. God bless you back. All right, we always want to know about the baby daddy. We're going to get into that and make some suppositions about that. According to this, the baby daddy is her boyfriend, and she's been with him and did a wonderful photo shoot, etc., etc. All right, she's not only a cheerleader, but they got her as a beauty queen in Kentucky. As a matter of fact, when you look up Laken Snelling, guys, She's all over the place. She wanted to be on TV and be a cheerleader, for a big football game. She wanted to be the beauty queen, the pageant queen. She wanted the spotlight, and I don't think the spotlight included a baby right now. So my assumption, she got pregnant. Maybe she didn't know until it was too late. Maybe she was already 3-4 months pregnant, and she's a small girl, and she didn't notice until it was too late to not get an abortion, and bam, and that wasn't in her cards. I don't know. That's what we're going to talk about today. What's up, Chief Rocka? Good to see you, my friend. Allie Callie, Tony. I wonder when her birthday is. That's a good question. We're going to look at the documents, and we'll look out for her birthday, all right? Because we have the arrest document that we can see. She's a cheerleader and a beauty pageant, a beauty queen. Both apply. All right. So listen, comments made by her classmates, appearance obsessed. And there's a whole article that say that this chick, Laken Snelling, is a bully. They say appearance as an obsessed serial bully. So she liked to bully people, guys. She liked to bully people, which means people that you find a lesser position than you like to pick on. That's what they claim. They say who even tried to run down a fellow student with her Jeep. She doesn't seem like she was too such a good girl. Was she a narcissist? I don't know. There's 111 people in here. Say a prayer that this baby that was never brought into the world, or maybe he was for minutes or hours, say a prayer that this little guy gets a justice for others that this hasn't happened to yet. And let's set a precedence for that, right? I don't know that she's going to be in prison, and that's what makes me mad about this case. She's walking free right now on a $100,000 bond, and it seems like the defense wants this to be dropped. They want it to be dropped to nothing, for her to just serve some probation time and move on with her life. All right. So I don't know if Kentucky has abortion. I'm not keeping up with the abortion laws nowadays. If you guys know about Kentucky, let me know if they have laws that say abortions are illegal. I don't know, because they're not in California, and I wouldn't even know about that because I'm never seeking out for an abortion anywhere. All right. Okay. So listen. Number one person said her appearance is obsessed, and she's a serial bully who tried to run down a fellow student with her Jeep. Laken had many, many people that she took her personal anger out on. My sister was one of them. Again, I don't know where these quotes came from other than classmates. In quotation marks, she was obsessed with her appearance, very obsessed with being popular and fitting in, accusing Snelling of mercilessly bullying her sister and some of her friends. This is a classmate, guys. And yes, crazy baby in a bag. She did it. Absolutely. In my opinion, I think that she did as well. And I think she should be held accountable. Now, last one. While in high school, she tried to run over one of my closest friends with her Jeep. The bullying got so bad that my friend had to be pulled out of school and transferred to another because Laken had taken it so far. All right. So she's a Kentucky cheerleader, a beauty queen, a bully, and now a red rummer. All right. She's a freaking red rummer. All right. Now let's take a look at what the coroner report says. Now it's hard for me to read it on my screen, so I'm just going to pull this up here, and what I'll do is make it a little bit bigger for y'all. All right, let's take a look at this. This is important, and then we'll start getting into the article that I want you guys to pay close attention to. Okay, all right, let me pull this up. Now listen, this is the Fayette County Coroner, Lexington, Kentucky. Press release from the Fayette County Coroner. Name, baby, is Infant Snelling. Now, what we do know about Infant Snelling, which is Laken's baby that never made it to this world, or not too long, he's a male, age 0. All right. City of residence, Lexington, Kentucky. Date of death, they classified that as 8/27/2025. All right. So August 27th, not even 2 weeks ago. Time of death, they rule it at 10:59, which is interesting. I wonder if they're going off of what she told them. Now, a preliminary autopsy, guys, here's the cause of death of baby infant Snelling. Cause of death, it says a preliminary autopsy report has been completed. The findings are inconclusive, guys, which is not good for the case. Extensive microscopic analysis are essential to determine the cause of manner and death. Right now, the cause of death has not been found. They haven't determined if she suffocated the baby. Maybe she was on DRUGs and the baby came out and was, having a reaction to what she was taking before. Maybe she was taking things that day. Cause of death, inconclusive, and toxicology needs to be ran again. Manner of death is also currently undetermined. Incident location 400 block of Park Avenue in Lexington, Kentucky. Now, the circumstances of the Fayette County coroner by these gentlemen you see at the top, Gary Ginn, coroner, deputy chief, chief deputy coroner, senior, all of these people signed off on this. They say, I understand the community's concern and sensitivity surrounding the death of a child. This death affects many lives in our neighboring state of Tennessee and as well as those in the Commonwealth. We're currently conducting a thorough and methodical death investigation to ensure all facts are carefully considered. All right, the death investigation remains open pending the results of these studies. There is no additional information that can be released at this time. There will be updates as our death investigation continues. Please keep the family and friends, as well as the University of Kentucky, in your thoughts and prayers. Signed, Gary Ginn, which is the coroner of Fayette County. All right. So that's not really good. That's not too good for the case. All right. That's not going to do any justice for anybody for it to be undetermined. All right. And welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Now we're going to get into the details of what the heck happened. All right. So you've seen some of the evidence. Now let's take a look at this. And let me make sure I'm on the same page with y'all as I move this up and down. All right. 1 second. And I don't like these things. All right, let's see. Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm showing or putting on the screen. All right. Good to see everybody. Hannah Thomas, there's a lot of green in here today. It'd be lovely if you guys get some more green up in here. Get yourself a membership. Good to see you. Kathleen says, man, these parents that throw their kids away and just never ending. Thanks for the update. You're very welcome. All right. And yeah, trigger warning. Hello, Synth. How are you? Sorry, I didn't see you earlier. What's up, Kalista? All right, let me read this to you carefully. All right, let's carefully look through this together. Let me pull this down. Kentucky cheerleader Laken Snelling pleads not guilty in dead newborn case. All right, this is 2 days ago. I'm going to show you also. A University of Kentucky cheerleader charged with concealing the birth of an infant pleaded not guilty on Tuesday, 2 days ago. Laken Ashley Snelling, a 21-year-old senior on the university stunt team. She's in college, 21 years old, a cheerleader and a beauty queen, entered a plea deal during her arraignment on Tuesday afternoon. She has been released from custody Monday after posting a $100,000 bond and being placed on house arrest to live with her parents, according to the documents obtained by Newsweek. Snelling, who's also facing charges of abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant, was arrested after Lexington police responded to her residence Wednesday regarding a deceased infant being located inside of a closet. All right. So she goes from cheerleader beauty queen to what you see here. This is her mugshot. All right. We got a lot to get into. We're barely just starting. So thank you guys for being here. Foxy Amazon, thank you so much for the Guilty of Crime membership. All right. There's too many young kids having kids and thinking that it's okay to discard them. We need to make a better example for these children that are being born and not taken care of. Yeah, Suzanne, she absolutely doesn't look like a beauty queen And I love it. Even in court, y'all, she goes into court and shows up in this tiny little red skimpy dress and acts like she's going to be in a beauty competition, which I'm going to show you her social media before it gets taken down. All right. That's what we want to do. The autopsy is preliminary and they didn't actually put an autopsy. It was a coroner report that didn't tell anything about the full term, the baby maybe being suffocated. They can tell all that, but apparently they can't just yet. This happens due to a mental health issue. We don't know that just yet, right? We'll see. Right. What the hooker look? Oh, just wait, Sandra. Wait till you see what she looks like in every other picture. I just think we need to have an open mind. If she thought he wasn't alive, could have freaked out. And Kalisa, this is exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the video. I'm going to present the evidence that I have to you guys, and you guys can make your decisions for yourself like you're a jury of 12. I am not here to tell you what to think, how to feel, or what your input is on a case. I'm only here to present the case to you and let you decide for yourself how you feel and what you think. All right. So that has nothing to do with me. I appreciate your thoughts. I'm going to give you the information and you're going to make your decisions just like the jury will. All right. And whether I'm uber angry at this person, because I am, because it was hard for my wife and I to have a baby, and for many couples to have babies, and then for someone like this to go in and throw your baby away in a trash bag in your closet. Yeah, I'm not too happy with that. That's not my, no matter what. So yeah, we're discussing the possibilities and you guys make your decision. All right. Has it been said she didn't know she was pregnant? Well, Garden Critters, we're making that assumption that she didn't know she was pregnant because what we're coming up next would state that she didn't know she was pregnant in the way that she pled. All right. So context is king. Little Red says, I've studied the situation and this is why it's happening. It's not normal. It's an underlying disorder. And that can be true too, but I'm not saying that about her particularly. All right. So you guys keep on talking in chat and you got Cheryl that says, you're pregnant, damn it. You got Lil Red saying another thing and someone else. So you guys take it as you want. Take it as you want. All right. Now I'm going to tell you what the article says, and I'm going to show you her arrest report so you can see what they charged her with. And then you can make your decisions. All right. Let's keep going. All right. So there she goes. 21-year-old Laken Snelling. Infant was located wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag, according to the report. The listed offender was Mirandized and interviewed and admitted to giving birth. All right. They gave her Miranda rights, told her you can speak or be quiet, innocent until proven guilty. And she chose to talk. Now, Snelling admitted to concealing the birth by cleaning any evidence. All right. So when you say you admit to concealing the birth by cleaning any evidence, I assume she knew that she knew she was pregnant. Now, when did she know? I don't know. Maybe she knew at 6 months. Maybe she knew at 2 months. All right. And by placing used cleaning items inside of a black trash bag, which also contained the infant wrapped in a towel, police said. Now, in the process of cleaning the evidence of birth, guys, the listed suspect tampered with the said evidence that proved she had given birth. The report concludes by wrapping the infant in towels and placing it inside of a black trash bag. The listed suspect treated the corpse in a way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities. Now, police in Lexington, Kentucky announced Snelling's arrest on Sunday. Officers responded to a report of an unresponsive infant at the residence on August 27th and pronounced the child dead at the scene. I just read the Fayette County Coroner's Office will determine the infant's cause of death. They have not yet. Snelling's attorney, Brandon Marshall, did not immediately return a request for comment Tuesday, and attempts to reach the accused cheerleader were unsuccessful. Now, the University of Kentucky spokesperson confirmed to Newsweek Snelling is a senior at the school and a member of the stunt team, but declined to indicate whether officials had any indication that she had been pregnant. They say we have no additional comment at this time in this matter. It's under investigation. Social media accounts show Snelling, who majors in interdisciplinary disability studies, attended Jefferson County High School in Mississippi, and previously competed in beauty pageants. She's still on their website as a beauty pageant uh, or a beauty pageant winner. There is a pageant for everyone, Snelling wrote on her Facebook in early June. We're going over that next. Snelling originally posted White Pine, Tennessee on her TikTok in late June that she considered motherhood and marriage among her primary life goals. So I want you guys to remember that, because this is a big one here. We're going to go on into TikTok after, but in late June, guys, she considered motherhood and marriage among her life goals. All right. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for her to be on her social media page and consider being a mother and married as a life goal when she just threw her baby away with a towel in the trash, essentially. All right. So that's what we're going to do. Yes, the roommate found the dead baby in the bag in the closet. We're getting to that, guys. All right. I don't want this over as soon as we started it. And Melissa Johnson, my girl, I've loved every 16 month. I'm a day one here. Yes, you are. And shout out to Melissa Johnson for being such a dedicated Crime Crew family member. She was also a cheerleader, and she was also a beauty queen. Sometimes I think you guys like go do something else and then don't you only hear part of what I'm saying. All right, but I love you for it. All right, so listen, we're going to go over her Facebook and TikTok. The goals are to be a mom, but you red rummed your chance to be one. Somebody replied on her social media. Anyone, I mean anyone, would have taken that baby so she didn't take its life. All right. Now, Snelling also posted photos of herself and her boyfriend on TikTok in June, with some observers claiming the intimate collection indicated that she knew she was pregnant, guys. So for those of you that feel like she didn't do anything wrong, maybe it's her mental health, let's take a look a little bit closer, all right? But first, let me look at her arrest report. That's what I want to share with you, just so we can see what the charges are together. Let me get this one. Here we go. Let's take a look at that. It's a little hard to read, but I'll read it for you. Let me check with chat. How's everybody doing today? Is everybody rolled on in? Carrie, good to see you. Carrie, we have another case. What do you think about Kentucky cheerleader and beauty queen arrested for hiding dead newborn in her closet in a bag with a towel wrapped around it? And Connie, you are not blocked. Nobody's blocked on here, because if you were blocked, we wouldn't be able to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. Clementine says not Clementine. Oh my God, how sad. I couldn't even imagine the trauma the roommates will suffer. And you see why people are mad. All right, let's take a look at her arrest record, and then we'll start to look at the pictures and things. And you guys decide for yourself, did she know, or did she have a mental break? All right. And again, nobody's right and nobody's wrong. What is up, Pearl? Good to see you. Ah, Jay, cool. Who found the baby in her closet? The roommate did. All right, let's keep going. And they did talk about the 911 call, but we haven't got that released yet. She got a uniform citation from Kentucky. That's an interesting way to put that. At first, I thought she just got a citation and not something that would be a felony. Now, look, same date, or then we don't know what time or any of that. This girl, Laken Ashley Snelling, 21 years old. Right, I'm trying to find out if I can see her birthday. Female, white, 5'5", 120 pounds, blonde hair, non-Hispanic. 10:33 a.m. Park Avenue on August 27, 2025. The police came and wrote this up. Charge 1, concealing the birth of an infant. Charge 2, tampering with physical evidence. And charge 3, abuse of a corpse. I'm still looking for a birth date or something on here. And I'm not seeing, I see date of birth, but it's blocked out, guys. So these are her charges. Officers were dispatched to listed suspect's address regarding a deceased infant being located inside of a closet. Infant was located wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag. The listed offender was Mirandized and interviewed and admitted to giving birth. Furthermore, the listed suspect admitted to concealing the birth by cleaning any evidence, placing any cleaning items used inside of a black trash bag, including the infant who was wrapped in a towel. In the process of cleaning the evidence of the birth, the listed suspect tampered with said evidence and proved that she had given birth by wrapping the infant in the towels and placing it inside of a black trash bag. With the listed suspect treated the corpse in a way that would outrage anyone, all right, any family sensibilities. But listen here, these are all felonies, and you can see the violation code for these. She's got 3 charges. This is what we read earlier. This is what is on the arrest record. That says a lot. When you don't just snap, when you snap, for some reason, you're not, if you're having a mental break, you're going to have a mental break, but you're not going to think to go get the cleansers, clean it up, get rid of the gunk, tamper with evidence, wrap the baby, put in your I mean, this doesn't make sense. Make that make sense. Fear is a big thing, but I'm not on her side at all. I'm not convinced. Yeah, this is disgusting. I agree. All right, so we're going to dump that out, and I'm going to actually show you a quick clip of her nonchalantly in in court the way she is. I think she thinks she's going to get away with this, to be honest with you. I really do think that. And then I'm going to go into the social media of her page, but I want you to see how she moves. Right? I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but you'll see how she moves, how she dresses, and how she acts as she pleads not guilty.
Student in Kentucky is charged in the death of her newborn baby, and tonight under house arrest in East Tennessee. Laken Snelling appeared inside a court in Lexington today. Police arrested the 21-year-old student at the University of Kentucky over the weekend. Police responded to a call about an unresponsive infant days.
Again, when you start to see social media pictures of her, that's how she is, all dolled up, looking like she's ready for a pageant. I'm going to rewind that back a second so you can see they called 911 and what? And I'll make sure I put these up here so you guys can read it. All right, I'm going to just hop back for a second.
Laken Snelling appeared inside a court in Lexington today. Police arrested the 21-year-old student at the University of Kentucky over the weekend. Police responded to a call about an unresponsive infant days before at a home off campus. Investigators say officers found the dead child in a closet wrapped in a towel inside a trash bag. The suspect is a member of the stunt cheer team at the school and posted a $100,000 bond. She is under house arrest at the home of her parents in Jefferson City. Police say Snelling agreed to be interviewed and told officers she gave birth, then tried to hide any evidence. To all the charges against her, she has pleaded not guilty.
And that's a fantastic comment there. Read that comment on there. I could not have said that better. I absolutely could not have said that better, regardless of whether I'm going to read this unforgivable sins. This is fantastic what you're saying. Regardless if this child were deceased or alive, she should have called 911. You can't drive after giving birth for several days. All right. And she's looking like she feels like she's going to get off on this. And I'm sure that her attorney is telling her this. She got out on bond and she is on house arrest, and her attorney is looking to get her out and not do any jail time. All right. Yes, giving birth's messy and she cleaned it up. All right. We don't know if she's full term just yet because they haven't given that information. We assume that she is as we get into it further, but it doesn't matter if she was full term or not. She literally told officers that she gave birth to this baby and then she cleaned it up and threw the baby away. So does that really make sense if she was or if she wasn't? I don't think so. Thank you, Carrie, for emailing me. Let me hop onto a few things before I can even check my email, guys. All right. I can't get into any of that just yet. I want to show you her social media before it gets pulled down. That's what I want to share with you. All right. So listen, this was named in an article. These pictures, these photo shoots with her boyfriend. Yeah, no excuses, guys. No excuses. Exactly. Exactly. And again, I'm going to be less tolerant than somebody else might be. All right. It was very difficult for to give birth to my children and for many others. All right. I know many people do IVF and all these other things to get pregnant. And then you have ones that get pregnant, are perfect little picket fence, happy family that you see there, happy little couple. She's with their boyfriend, successful in college, on her last year, beauty queen, cheerleader, and she does this. All right. This is the photo shoot that she did on June 16th with her man. So I am going to assume that that is the baby dad right now. I'm just going to make that assumption until we get further into it. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. I'm going to show you what they, what, what they were reporting on. Couples photography, June 18. All right, couple photo shoot, couple photography. Let's play it. Let me pull this down a little. There's also some really nasty comments on it now that people know what happened. And Connor, I think, is her man, and they're saying Connor's been silent. My husband went to college with Connor. I'm assuming that's him. They're both crazy, or it's both crazy. You can change the University of Kentucky in your bio to Kentucky Department of Corrections. I mean, people are, this one says, I think she just miscarried and panicked and had a psychotic moment. Mental health is real. So we have different sides of the coin, and I'm not shaming anybody that believes one way or the other. It's so weird to me that she'd have a maternity shoot, then turn around and do what she did, which is, I think, the problem here. All right, Jay, I heard. Okay, so I haven't heard that he's not the father or he is. I'm just assuming that she is doing this photo shoot with her man. And I did see the, Carrie, I already read that one. Coroner releases the autopsy report. I got that one, and it's inconclusive on it. So there's nothing else on there. He literally ruled it inconclusive, and I just got to that. You might have to just go back one screen, Carrie, but thank you. What's up, James? How you doing? Good to see you. All right, let's take a look at this, guys, before it gets taken down. This is so strange that she would do this with this perfect little, unless maybe she got pregnant with some other dude's baby. All right, let's look.
I'll tell the whole world. Top of
Nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm showing you the pictures. I'll read you some comments. This was June 18th. All right. The man was present too. They don't know. Shocking 911. Oh, this was a maternity shoot. I don't know if this is a maternity shoot, but you can clearly tell she was pregnant, is what some people are saying. And you see her little bump right there. You can tell she was pregnant. Look at her there. Look at with his hands around her. All her friends are privating their accounts. Isn't this weird that June 18th, she took these photos and she did this shoot, and then just months later, Jay, reread the coroner report. It says inconclusive. Yeah, I already read the coroner report, and it says the same thing, inconclusive, although it's out. All right, you said you had a 20-pound baby, walked barefoot 20 miles in the snow. Yeah, okay. She is 40 and the school teacher. What do her parents say about all this? Well, her parents are bailing her out on this one, so that's what they're saying. I believe they paid for a lawyer, and they took her home. They are sheltering her. Right now, you guys decide what would make her do this. All right. What would make her? I wish she would tell the real story. And what is up, Debbie1220? Thank you so much for supporting the Guilty of Crime channel. Good to see you. All right. Let me get out of that. You guys see, it's a split here. It's a split. People are like, wait, what? I'm going to show you your whole thing now. All right. Before it comes down. Yeah. People are calling it that. I just showed you what they're calling it. And the guy's name is Connor. And we don't know anything else because people are privating their accounts right now. We just watched this one. This was June 18th. Now, this one got 1.1 million views. This is the latest one. And let me take a look at what it is. It's on June 25th. And there, guys, in all honesty, I don't see that 7 days later that she's pregnant. I just don't see it. It does look more like an engagement photo shoot. I absolutely agree. You say they look like a maternity shoot, which was in white. I don't know if they normally do. That's the thing. Do they do engagement photos in white, or is that more of a maternity shoot? Maybe someone can look that up. Carrie, can you look that up? What color maternity shoots would be versus an engagement? All right. So look, this one was 7 days later, and I don't see her being pregnant. I don't know why. I just don't see it. Can we stop bashing and judging her? Someone says. Your goal is to be a mother, but kills her baby. And that's what I was talking about, guys. She had a goal to be a mom and a wife. So what went wrong? What happened after that? Right now, let's take a look. I'm assuming this is baby daddy. And why would I assume anything else? Hold on.
He don't make me wonder.
I thought listen, this was from June. And we're only in September on the 4th. So to me, I think this is the guy that she was dating while that happened. And I assume that it's the baby daddy. Again, unless she got pregnant with somebody else and maybe she didn't want to mess up her relationship with her man. Yeah, she already told police that she gave birth, she covered it up, and that was her dead baby in the closet. What more does anyone want? What more does anyone want? Last year of college, boyfriend could have dumped her. She could have realized the child didn't belong. Who knows? The boyfriend's name. I just said Connor because I don't really want people stalking him. But yes, Connor is the boyfriend. And this is her social media, guys. All right. I don't see a lot. I mean, look at her here. If she gave birth full term, it's 4/12 here. We're 5 months ahead. She would have been pregnant right around there. I do like country music though, guys, so I wish I could sit there and listen to this music. He deleted all his socials, and that makes sense. Exactly, James. That sounds like a confession to me. All right, so I mean, her social media, it says a lot. It shows that she's really into herself, which we see with her beauty pageant stuff. But look at that different, and look at how much thinner to me she does look in this back in last or 2 summers ago in July. She definitely put on some weight. It looks like there she hurt herself. She was doing stunts. All right, guys. That she was a stunt girl. She's a stunt girl, and people split. There's a split decision on what they think. Now, this lady in her comments say prison will eat her up, and I agree. Yes, I really am. I know I don't look like a country gal, but I really am. I'm better off in the country than anywhere else, guys. All right, so let's get off of her social media. All right, and let's take a look at Facebook real quick. I want to show you that because every social media tells a story, and all of them are documented to a degree. So let's take a look at her. You can see she's vain. She's into herself. Nothing wrong with that if you're a cheerleader or a beauty pageant, but not to get rid of your child in that manner. Okay. All right. Blue says maybe if she could have had an abortion, this would not have happened. And that's a really good thing to say. You're right. Blue, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that we shouldn't have went backwards. And this is a whole topic, right? This is a political topic I don't want to get into too much, but you shouldn't, but they shouldn't turn the hands of time back and expect this not to happen. Do I blame her? Yes, I do. Do I say she covered this up? Yes, I do. Do I think probation would do her some good? No, I don't. What's up, Emily Jane? Good to see you. Let me know, guys. My mods, can you guys check and see if my guilty of crime? I can check it. I just want to make sure here that we've got. Holly says she looks pregnant in the white dress. That I agree with. I'm trying to see if I put the goal up on the channel for you guys. I was trying to do a goal so I didn't have to bother you. Okay, yeah, it's got another 30 minutes. Okay. All right, thanks, guys. Sorry to bother you. All right, we're going to get into it. It's not clear yet, Patricia, that I know who called 911 just yet, but we haven't got there. And I want to make sure that what I'm saying is also documented. So let's get into it. All right. Oh, you see my goal? Okay, thank you, Tiff. Thank you. All right, then I'll be quiet. Yes, I agree. We never have had so many forms of birth control. I love you, Unforgivable Sins. Where'd you come from? You need a membership. I bet the baby's dad said something to her about leaving her and the baby, and she panicked. I don't know. Laken could have gone to another state. You're absolutely right. She's not only that, but we hear she's a bully. We hear she's a bully. All right. So there she is with her mean girls friends. This picture, she looks like she's 35. Just saying. This was also June 16, 2024. All right. So on this one day, it looks like there was a pageant for everyone registered a day. And there's a lot of pictures and content. It looks like they took down quite a bit of things here. A lot of content that's not available. Hey, there she is in Nashville. I want to go there. She don't look pregnant there, guys. All right. So there's a lot. This was the photo that I used on today. We do, Carly. We are trying to get that. My company does health thing, different kind of products, and boy, would we want to make some kind of product that's a male birth control shot or something else. All right. You said, I'll surprise you. I'm a boomer. Now, Unforgivable Sins, let's blame the law because there's no personal responsibility. I don't know what you guys are saying in chat, but let's keep going. All right. Good to see you, Carly. Let's anyway, this is what I used on there. I mean, you believe it. She's a beauty queen in her hometown and a cheerleader and a mean girl, apparently. So, I mean, this guy is in her pictures a lot. I'm going to assume that is the baby daddy or was the baby daddy. Oh, yeah, we don't like bullies around here, guys. All right. She looks way older to me. What's up, Scrap Owl? Okay, let's keep going because a lot of you guys still have a ton of questions, and rightfully so. And they do talk about her mental health, guys. They say that this case has ignited public reaction because postpartum and mental health crisis, pregnancy resources, and safe haven laws. Some people speculate that Snelling has experienced postpartum psychosis or severe emotional distress. Through this, no official diagnosis has been released, but public reaction has been polarized where some people are expressing sympathy for the mental health and others are deeming her to get the harshest penalty possible. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I want you guys to talk. We're definitely going to talk about this. Cheerleader dead baby case likely results in probation. That is what I'm going to talk to you about next. All right. So go check this out if you want to look more. They took a lot of things off of here. That her social media says a lot. All right. Let's take a look at this. This is bothering me a lot. And I'll look up and see if they have an official 911 something, if it's been released. I haven't seen anything yet. All right, listen. How do you guys feel about this cheerleader beauty queen being released on probation? Tell me what you guys think about that. And yeah, there's almost 200 people in here, guys, and only 180 or 100, a few likes. How many likes do we have? We should have 189 likes. If you guys can do that, it's free. Thank you. All right. Mark Garagos. I wonder if he's being just optimistic about it. New mom allegedly hid dead body in closet. This you guys got to hear. Let's go.
I'm friend of the show, Mark Garagos. And Mark has defended someone like this before, a young woman accused of killing her own
that I agree.
Baby. Okay,
why didn't they keep her in jail?
The charges she's facing right now: abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, concealing the birth of an infant, but not murder. Tell me what the next steps are and why a murder charge may or may not be forthcoming.
This is not good, guys.
My guess is, and it's a wild speculation, they cannot prove that this wasn't a stillborn. And if that's the case,
and see, there you go. So this is the huge question of what's going to come into play. All right. And what's up, Moon? Moon says, I just hit that like button as I entered. And thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So let's see what happens and what precedence is going to be set, guys, if this happens. And rightfully so. I mean, anybody could say that they gave birth and the baby came out not alive until until the coroner comes back and looks at the toxicology and sees something or says this baby was absolutely suffocated or this baby I mean, if they can get to that level of telling what happened with the baby, anything, then they can fully charge her. If they can't, guys, you guys are probably going to be upset because they're probably going to let her walk on some probation. I got to tell you that. All right. And what's up, Chumba? Good to see you. Emily, as usual. Moon, thank you. Thank you all for being here today.
They can't prove that, then they can't get to murder. That was in the case I had, was dismissed not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, because every single time we went to a hearing, prosecution was unable to prove that there was a live birth. If you can't prove a live birth, you can't get to murder. And the charges they got right now, I won't venture a guess, but it generally concedes that. And unless they've got something or that she is hiding or that they don't know about yet, I think this is about as much as they're going to be able to charge her with.
So sadly, in my very long career, I have covered somewhere closing in on a dozen cases like this. That's just so sad. But I know that when the autopsy comes back, they will try to determine if the child aspirated oxygen.
So there you go, guys go. And I'm not sure we're going to get to that conclusion when we see that the initial coroner wrote it up that way, guys. So let's hope and pray that she gets the justice she deserves and baby boy Snelling we don't just let her get off like that, okay? Because that's not going to set a good precedence at all. All right. And thank you, Midnight Lacey, so much. James McConnell says, thank you for the gifted membership. All right. And I say thank you as well. All right. What are you saying? I read that they are now waiting on the histology. Oh, we're going to talk about that right now. Let's go. And the toxicology,
which would indicate live birth. You can't aspirate until you're out of the birth canal and in the air. But that doesn't say that the baby doesn't die right there on the floor, because a young woman is terrified and doesn't call a hospital and does all the wrong things, but doesn't murder the baby. How do you get to that? Like, how do you get past that?
Well, you've hit precisely what I found. I was surprised when I first did this 15 years ago or whatever and did a complete survey, kind of like what you've done journalistically, and saw that it is more frequent. It's not frequent, but it's certainly not rare. And this happens. Oftentimes, the woman does not know that she was pregnant.
So look, Mark Garagos is amazing on getting people off and finding these technicalities in the law. So we're going to see what comes back and what they can charge her with. Is it going to change based on what they charged her with? And thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lori Miner, for the $2 super chat. Emily says 22 minutes left to go, and anything helps. I appreciate that, guys. Appreciate it so much. This family has money and connections, and that, I believe, will land her no jail time, but it's not good. We still want to get this out there and make sure that she's held accountable either way. Stop being the mean girl, because people are being light on you. I think a lot of people are being very understanding of her right now.
Oftentimes, they then have the pathologist try to do various things, usually with the lungs, to see whether or not in the autopsy of the lungs, as you stated, whether there's evidence that there was oxygen or that it had been oxygenated or the alveolar sacs had been used or something along those lines. If they can't prove that, if they can't get to that point, then they're not going to get to a murder charge. And in some cases, I saw, like you did, manslaughters.
Okay, sorry, I've got about 5 seconds left, but I really need to know if you have an idea of what abuse of a corpse tampering.
All right, so we're going to talk about that next. Just quick, Shauna, thank you for coming in. We're talking about Kentucky cheerleader arrested for hiding dead newborn in her closet, and she admitted to it. She admitted to covering it up, cleaning up the mess, and putting baby boy in the closet with the towel in a trash bag. Now, her roommate found the baby. We don't know yet who called 911. It's not that clear. So we're looking at this right now. She is on house arrest, living at her parents. She's 21 years old, and she's out on a $100,000 bond. Also, thank you guys for the super chats. The super stickers, Midnight Lace, Emily Jane, and Emily Jane again. Love you, girl. Thank you for supporting the channel. We got to do a giveaway soon because you guys, somebody needs to have one of these. Guilty of Crime. It's a mug and it has a Bluetooth on it. I want to give one of those away really bad, guys. So you can drink your drink in here, and then you can hook your phone or anything to it, and it plays music or plays audio. We need to get a Guilty of Crime mug as a giveaway. We're going to do that probably maybe tomorrow, either tomorrow or next week, guys. I want to make sure it's fair and choo choo. Thank you, guys. I know you guys like when I do the choo choo. All right, let's listen to what she asks him after kind of shutting him up. What's up, Rosalie? Good to see you. You definitely need that mug. I know. All right.
With evidence and concealing the birth of an infant might yield in terms of years in prison. If they don't get to murder, but they do get these charges, how much time could she serve?
Well, theoretically, she could go to prison. Practically, this is a probation case if she pleads.
You hear that? A probation case. And yes, Miss Odin, this is very cool, and it's very much on the Guilty of Crime website as well. But I do want to give one of these away to the people that support me, so I will. All right, Tiff has this up in the merch store, and anyone could get one at any time. All right, let's keep going. So much more today.
So interesting. I got to have you back. It's good to see you. Thank you for this.
Good to see you too. Thanks.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our news.
We don't want to listen to that, but yes, you know what? I could even throw one of these in. Look at Lori. Look at this. It says arrest Jen Soto. We got an arrest Jen Soto pin. You could wear that in North Carolina with a Guilty of Crime sweatshirt. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. Unforgivable Sin and Janet Rawling. And we got some Guilty of Crime, some new Guilty of Crime stickers. We have lots of stuff, guys. Thank you, Tiff, for this wonderful birthday card. Oh my God. Let me just show you one more thing, guys, because I everybody that's seen this has loved it so far. It's a new Guilty of Crime, our crime friends. Look at this. It says Guilty of Crime, and it's got all of us. It's got the slots. I'm the Leo with the glasses. We got Synth that's bacon. We got Tiff and Foxy Amazon. That's the Guilty of Crime crew and the mods, and it's a black t-shirt, guys. So yeah, you guys are going to want that as well. All right. Very cool. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Midnight Liz. Thank you, Emily. You guys rock. All right, let's go. We're going to give more stuff away. Now that stuff came out, I'm really hyped up to give stuff away. And thank you so much, Mo. All right, let me take a look at this. So if you guys just rolled in just now and I gave you that quick recap, here we go. One more time. This is a different version. This is the Kentucky beauty queen arrested for hiding dead newborn in closet. She's also a cheerleader. All right, if you just rolled in, listen closely. We don't want loud music. 21-year-old student. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Cirrus. This music is terrible. Hold on. All right. Happy pictures conceal a brutal red room, one that will hunt you with questions. This is what I showed you guys on Facebook. I don't know if you want to call it a photo shoot or a maternity shoot or a marriage shoot. I don't know. But Lexington police rushed to Park Avenue after reports of an unresponsive infant. Still haven't heard anything, guys. They found a newborn's body hidden in black trash bag wrapped in a towel. We don't know who called 911, but I am looking out for the call. All right. And we still have a whole thing to go. I think I'm speculating that's a baby's father. 21 out of custody. She's bonded out on home arrest. 21-year-old Laken Snelling, beauty queen and cheerleader. She is 21 years old. Absolutely. All right. She was arrested for corpse abuse, evidence tampering, and concealing a birth. All right. Even my 12-year-old granddaughter knows that much, right? She admitted to giving birth and now faces charges of abuse of corpse, tampering, and concealment. And those aren't very serious charges. That's not even a red rum charge, guys. And I am going to speculate that it would be the baby's father. All right. She's all the pictures we see with a boyfriend. That's him. That's him. So unless she stepped out and got pregnant by someone else, 100%, even if not meant to be maternity photos, it says she's obviously pregnant. And then you see the opposite side. Why didn't she get an abortion? Why didn't she do adoption? You say they're 100% maternity pics. That's crazy. Again, it's crazy if they are. She said that was one of her life goals. Roommate. Yeah, they did say the roommate found the baby, but I don't know who called 911 for sure. That's the only thing. All right. I think they're just playing music. Yeah, they just put the music over. All right. There's so much in this case. I'm looking for the 911, but I just don't see it. All right, let's keep going. Okay. It gets you hyped up, guys. Listen to the music. All right. All right. I'm going to turn this music off. I'm just pulling up the next clip for you guys. And bam, we're done. All right. I don't know why my internet has been slow. Yesterday was like that too. All right, let's pull this down. Good to see everybody. If you just rolled in, hello. If you've been here for a while, hello. We're going to get to the next thing that just came out yesterday afternoon. Let's see if it plays.
A college cheerleader and beauty queen arrested in a shocking case. Her baby found dead inside her home in Kentucky. Laken Snelling seemed to be a ray of positivity on social media, but now she's facing charges related to dark allegations. What she has reportedly admitted to police in this disturbing story. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime.
And thank you, Law and Crime, for coming out so quickly with it. But we don't want to see the advertisements.
You know, in this story is that a young child lost their life, and we are talking about just a baby. We also know, according to law enforcement, this is that baby's mom. Her name is Laken Snelling. She's just 21 years old, and this is her mugshot from when she was booked into the local jail in Lexington, Kentucky. And at the time of this recording, it appears she is bonded out. Now again, Snelling, just 21 years old, a student at the University of Kentucky. In fact,
and do you see the difference in what she looks like there and how tiny and how everything is just like very compacted and just a lot smaller compared to how she looked in the photo shoot? Now, Mikey and Chloe say someone else also knew the photographer, right? Was that wedding? Are those wedding? Are those a photo shoot for being pregnant, maternity? What is that? Let me know. When the filters, makeup's off, they always look different in the mugshots. Way different. I have a rainbow grandbaby, this type of, me too. And I'm trying to be very neutral, but it's very hard. And if I didn't thank you, Beth Toller, thank you. I didn't know if I thanked you earlier. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's keep going. This just came out, so I'm waiting for any information that's new and different.
She's a member of the competitive cheering squad known as the Stunt Team. Here's her page on the official Kentucky Wildcats website.
I'm glad they pulled this up because I also had this. I was going to show this to you individually, and there's just not a lot of information. But I do wonder if they're going to take her off of that Kentucky site due to what she did. Lori says, my niece got engaged and they did pics and she wore a white dress. Interesting. I wish I knew somebody on her side or in her camp that could say yes or no whether it was.
Division I SEC school. Now, Snelling also appears to be a pageant queen. Her social media shows her constantly posting about beauty pageants and being out and about with friends in fancy dresses like this one, which appears to be for the Kentucky Derby. But now there are major questions for Snelling, and she is being seen in a much different light because of the story that we're talking about today. It all began on August 27th when Lexington police were called to her house for a report of an unresponsive infant. That child was pronounced dead on.
And again, they're not saying who called, although I'm going to assume that she had her roommate that found the baby called. And the reason I assume that is because a lot of times when somebody commits a crime or they feel like a crime was committed, they have somebody else call 911 because they don't want that documentation. They don't want she doesn't want them to be able to go back and listen to the 911 call and her be like, oh, I'm calling in, the baby's dead. By the way, she says it. What's in the background is she, oh, the baby's dead, but her other concerns may be something else. So I'm going to say that she probably had the roommate call. Moon says, did it show off the ring? The belly seemed to be more front and center. Yeah, I mean, there's still pictures that looks like she definitely was pregnant, that she looked like it. And I know one of them was a spoof. Nikki says, maybe if the justice system would start putting these people in prison for unaliving their babies, they stop doing that. What's up, Victoria? Good to see you, Moon. Yes, they had their hands on the belly. See? Go back and watch that photo shoot. I'm sure we're going to look at some more of that now.
Scene, according to police. And according to the local television station, WLEX-TV, police say that baby was found inside of a closet, and there's an arrest citation that the TV station looked at that says the infant was wrapped in a towel inside of a black trash bag. The citation goes on to say that Snelling was read her rights, and she allegedly admitted to giving birth to that baby.
So she's saying she gave birth to the baby, but the baby was already passed. And thank you, Tiff, for letting me know this gal's birthday is December 1st, guys. So what is December 1st? She's definitely not a Leo. I don't know if that's a Capricorn or what. Her birthday is 12/1/2003. And the roommate did call. Guilty people have others call. And I was right. The roommate did call. All right. It's been said that she was 36 weeks pregnant. All right. There's a Laken Snelling discussion, and they're talking about her being up to 36 weeks pregnant and that the roommate did call. It's a very split audience. Thank you, Tiff. I do appreciate that. All right, let's keep going. Sagittarius. Thank you, Kalisa. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Guilty of crime. Just like JS, I bet she did not have her roommate call. So she's not exactly that. Guilty people don't like to call 911. And yes, Patricia, that's why they're charging her with abuse of corpse. They're trying to say that even if the baby did not come out and it was already stillborn or whatever, that all she did was do what she did instead of calling 911. So that's a charge. And yes, 36 weeks is way full term. And I've never heard anywhere that she wasn't full term. So I'm going to assume the baby was full term until I hear otherwise. All right, let's keep going.
She said that she concealed the birth by cleaning evidence and putting all cleaning items inside of a trash bag along with the body of the infant who was wrapped in a towel. Now, at the time of this recording, it is unclear what the baby's cause of death is. We also don't know how old the infant was when Laken Snelling allegedly gave birth to this child. Now, 4 days after police were first called to Snelling's home where they discovered this dead child, they arrested her. That was on August 31st, and she is now charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. It's unclear how open Snelling was about being pregnant, but from what we can see on social media, and I recognize often that can only tell just part of the story, it does appear that she stopped posting pictures of herself.
See? And the pictures that she did post in the stills, you can see it. Again, let's talk about Alexi Treviso. I think you guys are going to be upset about that too, because I think the things that were inside of the hospital room, the body cam that we see of Alexi Treviso saying that she knew she was pregnant but scared, is going to get kicked out of court. It hasn't been said yet, but if that gets kicked out of court, that case is just about done. And Alexi Treviso is going to walk and go right to college, continue going to college and living her life. All right. And this one too, guys, with the privilege that she has, you can see the privilege right here. I have a feeling, and I hope I'm not right. All right. The dad is, we don't exactly know, but we think it's Connor, and he shut down all of his social media. All right. You say funny how she's in loose clothing. I agree.
April of this year on Facebook. And then here's her last post on TikTok from June. It's a picture with emojis that describe her. And we did notice in the bottom left, under what says goals, there's an emoji of a mom with a child. Now, again, it is unclear what was going on in Snelling's life, but.
So that was the very last picture. And I didn't even realize that when I showed you her TikTok, that very last video that she posted, her very last, that was the last one, saying her goal is to be a wife and a mom. What went so wrong? Yeah, start making examples. I agree. What's up, Wendy? Good to see you. September. I said December. That's okay. Well, it has, what a horoscope sign has to do with it in this community is that we just like to know when people are born, so we can see what they fall under. Like they have a serial killer horoscope. So if you go to that horoscope for the month, we'll have Ted Bundy. He's a psychopath, and Pisces or whatever. So that's what it has to do with it. We like to find out people and what their signs are. I think Alexi got ran out on the college campus. You do? Okay. I'm not sure about that. I know she did initially. But yeah, I mean, really, the birthday doesn't have anything to do with it. We just like to know personalities based on their horoscope. That's all.
We did see pictures with a man. It's unclear if this is the baby's father, and it's unclear what he allegedly knew about not just Snelling being pregnant, but the birth of this child. At the time of this recording, no one else. We just learned that Snelling posted bond today per court documents acquired by WLEX TV in Kentucky. We know that Snelling was released on $100,000 bond, and she is currently living at home with her parents. She will not have to wear an ankle monitor. Police say the local coroner will release the results and the cause of death for this child when those autopsy results come back. Now, as far as the charges.
Now, if you guys just hopped in here, we showed the it's a preliminary coroner's report, and they did do the autopsy, and it came out inconclusive, and they haven't got the toxicology report back in yet. So they're doing some more testing to find out exactly what happened. Thank you, Beth. I appreciate you paying attention to that. And my husband have the same birthday. All right. You said my oldest and mom are Capricorn. When does her? Yeah, Capricorns are interesting. What's up, Claudia? Good to see you. All right, let's keep going.
That Snelling is facing right now. She is not charged with killing this child at the time of this recording. It is unclear how this child died. The charges she is facing: abuse of a corpse and tampering with physical evidence, both of which under Kentucky law are Class D felonies. And according to a website for the state, those typically come with prison sentences between 1 and 5 years. Hey, before we get back to this episode of On the Case presented by,
we're going to do a little commercial that we're not going to listen to.
Code on your screen or click the link.
For the people.
I argued a state Supreme Court case in Ohio with very similar facts several years ago. It's just heartbreaking that this child won't have a chance to grow up and have a full life. What we don't know is whether this child was killed or whether this child was born.
So, guys, this sounds like we're going to have this the whole time. And thank you, Victoria Carmen, for Bundy was a Sagittarius too. Thank you. Thank you. We just like little fun facts like that, Chief Rocca. And I definitely am friends with Libras. Libras have no time for nonsense. But just so you guys know, Synth, Jay's favorite mod, I'll be doing super special Synth snail mails from September for my Virgos. And because she says my birthday, Annie of 23 years, email your address to synth.serber@gmail.com, and that way she can get you out a special snail mail. She does really cool stuff. All right. And Victoria, you're a Leo too. So you guys are up on that. You're a Cancer. My 3 best friends are Sagittarius. Teresa, love you too, my friend. You're very well protected. Taurus. Yes, Tauruses are. I love you guys. You guys are all up in here in the horoscopes.
Alive. And depending on what the autopsy tells us about this child's health upon birth, it will affect the prosecutor's decision of what charges to bring. I don't want to suggest that this young woman killed her baby. We have seen other cases, high-profile cases, including the one that I argued in the Ohio Supreme Court, where that was the allegation.
Birth
That's
mom.
something prosecutors are currently
month.
weighing.
Oh, I see it
And
now.
The other new piece of information, just as we're recording this, is she was given a $100,000 bond. She was able to post that. She's going to go live with her parents, according to WLEX TV, which has the court document. No ankle monitor. What do you make of that decision for her?
Man, she hasn't got nothing, guys. That's unbelievable. What's up, more? I'm a Leo. Awesome. I'm a Taurus, Claudia. Amber says, happy birthday month, Cynthia. It's happy birthday month. And happy birthday, Jess, on the late birthday. All right. Let's keep going. Janet says, hey, I got a crown. Yes. You're a Sag too. Is that a Sag?
Our system presumes that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and our bail system is supposed to ensure two things. Typically, will you return to court for all your court dates? And secondly, are you a general risk to the...
That's a good question. I do wonder if they've already talked to Connor. They've definitely blurred out everybody's face, and a lot of people close their social media accounts because people like us, the YouTube social media sleuths, are reaching out to them. So we don't know yet. We haven't seen anything like that. She's a beautiful cheerleader. What's wrong with her? Yes, something happened. If a hospital wrapped a baby up after birth and threw it in the garbage, they would be prosecuted. I agree, and it should be. All right, let's keep going.
Public. That second factor is pretty obvious. She's not a risk to the public, like the way somebody who committed a murder spree, shooting people out the window of a car, that's somebody who's a risk to the public. That's not this fact pattern here. But we want to make sure that she does show back up. Now, with these charges that have currently been brought, that's no reason to flee to another country or something like that. But if she knows facts that might suggest she could be charged with murder, the judge may wish they had put an ankle monitor on her.
Yeah, does that, so let's just say, and I'm not sure how long the autopsy could take, but if it comes back and it does raise the question about foul play in the way that this,
go.
So
listen, everything is gonna hinge on that report, right? If it comes back and it stays inconclusive and toxicology tells them nothing, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, with my experience on what I do every single day, she's gonna take a plea deal, and the plea deal is going to give her some small sentence, house arrest, time served with probation. All right. So, I forgot you're Aquarius. I forgot. Complete opposite of a Leo. All right. Let's keep going.
Which we also don't know how old the infant was, but we learn more details. And let's just say it does become a murder case, which it isn't right now. I mean, how quickly can that change in terms of the charges and what her bond would be?
Yeah, if they upgrade the charges, and the autopsy can be done in just a matter of a few days. Autopsies typically, depending on the caseload at where the autopsies are done, can be done in a day or two, and you have pretty quick results.
But imagine trying to, and trigger warning to anybody, imagine trying to do an autopsy on a baby that either is not fully to term, or even if it was a little bit under, and now has been, we don't know how long the baby was in the closet, wrapped in bag. Who knows what she cleaned the baby with, if she just used straight up chemicals. You know how hard it would be to do an autopsy on a baby like that? Oh, man. I don't know, man. It's rough to even think about that. I'm sure the people she bullied would call her a risk. I agree with that. Anna says, I'm Aquarius. Aquarius here.
What takes a long time is when they have to send blood samples and other tissue samples.
That's it right there.
Toxic examinations to see if there's drugs or other sort of things. I doubt that's the issue here, that the forensic autopsy expert will be able to decide pretty quickly whether this child was breathing air when the child died. If this is a case where...
Now, you guys take a look also at, you guys are all mothers. We're all mothers here. I might not have given birth, but I do know that when you're pregnant, you have to breastfeed. You don't have to breastfeed, but nature says you're going to breastfeed, and they put milk inside of where you need to breastfeed from. If you notice that picture there, and then some of the other pictures, you can also see the weight in her chest, because that's what happens. All right. So take a look at that as well. When you look, if the results or the final testing are inconclusive, she will absolutely get off with a light plea sentence. And I got to pray that she gets more than just an ankle monitor. The autopsy is inconclusive right now, but they're doing more testing on it. All right. But yeah, take a look at her as a whole, and you can see what we mean by looking pregnant.
This young woman either didn't give the right care to the baby, because Kentucky does have the Born Alive Act passed in 2021, which requires both medical providers and parents to give the right sustenance to a baby that's been born, or if they decide that the baby was breathing air and then something stopped that air from being breathed, that would be a very serious charge. The prosecutors would move quickly to go to a grand jury to get new charges, and then there would be an obligation for the judge to have a new bond hearing.
There's another charge she's facing, the concealing the birth of an infant. And, clearly if this was a case that she had the child at home, like, and with what she's accused of to this point of covering up, the cleanup of it and all of that, like, I get that. But from like the law's standpoint, what is the difference between someone who just is very private, they wanted to have a home birth, and then something that goes to the point where it's illegal, where you concealed the birth of an infant?
It's a pretty recent statute. I practice mostly in Ohio. We don't have a counterpart to that, but just by reading the news and following criminal cases, it's become more and more common, or at least it's more covered, that young women who didn't intend to be pregnant and don't want people to know that they're pregnant conceal that pregnancy and then the birth. And if you're simply doing that because you want to just raise your child in confidence without the
Yes, I suggested you check out her boobs. All right, her boobs are very telling. You guys sometimes, man. Thank you, Teresa. Choo choo for that 99-cent super sticker. You guys are great. I love this crowd. I have another clip that I really want to talk to you about, because it's Joseph Scott Morgan talking about, right, the actual body and the death and the like decomposition and what it does. So I'm gonna go past this guy a little bit. I want to talk about what Joseph Scott Morgan is. Let's hear a little bit more about this speculation here, and then we'll listen there. It's gonna be a big indicator. And yeah, check out her boobs.
In the law, not in morality typically, but there are consequences when people have sex outside of marriage, or when they're not expecting to have a child.
They are,
in most cases, birth control stops a child from being born. In other cases, people have abortions. In this case, this young woman we're waiting on evidence, may have made a decision that she simply didn't want to be a mother, that she's too young, she has her whole life ahead of her, but there's another person involved.
Right.
And that's something the prosecutors and all of us have to remember, that when a woman's pregnant, now there's another person, another life involved, and that's something all of us should take very seriously.
And what options typically are there? Because I've been seeing that on social media as well today, where there's places.
I just want to listen for a second, because I don't know. I know people have said that they don't allow abortions anymore in Kentucky, but is that the case? I'd rather see it. Yeah, she had the baby in her college dorm. Really? They said a roommate, I guess. Kathleen. Hey, that's all that mattered. Yeah, her roommate did find that. I went to DDD to a J. What does that mean? All right. Hit that like button, guys. Not in relation to checking out her boobs. Yeah, no abortion. All right, let's take a look real quick.
Is like a firehouse in some states where you can, if you have a child,
I know.
And it's not, you're just, for whatever reason, no judgment, you can leave the baby, and then firefighters can find something for them. I mean, typically, what are the options that are out there that someone can have if they're in a situation like allegedly this woman was in Kentucky?
Yeah, Kentucky has that law, and many states do, and it's a wonderful option for young women who find themselves pregnant and don't want to be a mother. There's so many couples who would love to adopt a baby. So that sometimes when I speak to young people in groups, I'll remind them of this option, that if they know somebody who's pregnant and doesn't want to be pregnant, rather than have an abortion, or rather than worry about what adoption looks like, you can take that child to a safe place, typically a hospital.
And that's all you need to know. She could have taken the baby that's crazy, right? She could have done that, and she decided something went wrong. I didn't know she was in a dorm. I'm not putting out facts unless they're facts. And to me, I don't know yet. All right. So I'm not going to put that out, but I do want to talk about the baby a little bit more, about what condition he was in. And I'll get to that right after this.
And both the young man and the young woman, they eventually pled it out to other charges, but it shows you how serious it can be under the right facts. We don't have those facts yet. We shouldn't leap to a conclusion, but it's a serious thing. If I'm leading the investigation, I want to find out who the father is, what he knew, what his parents knew.
Exactly.
What the parents of this young.
Exactly. And that's what we're talking about. But right now, they're not looking at him at all. just yet that we know about. And yeah, young people are dumb, young and dumb, respectfully, but yeah, this is beyond that. This was her going to any length to hide it, to hide the baby, even by taking the baby's life.
Woman knew, and if a new
We haven't got
a better offer by way of plea negotiation.
And again, they probably are going to plea. Let's get out of this guy's thing. He's got we're having the same conversation we are, but this one with Joseph Scott Morgan talks a lot more about what this case hinders on, and what this case hinders on is going to be the toxicology report and the cause of death, the autopsy. All right. So that's what's going to happen in this case. That's going to, you guys in chat. All right, listen, Joseph Scott Morgan, we're not playing the whole thing. I just want to hear what he says. No sound.
May take. I want to welcome in board certified forensic pathologist Dr. Priya Banerjee and forensic death investigator and professor at Jacksonville State University, Joseph Scott Morgan. Good morning to you both. Professor Joe, starting with you, please. Police say the Fayette County Coroner's Office are the ones who are investigating this infant's cause of death. How long would you expect this to take?
And this is going to give us a good idea about the entire case. And right after this, please stay with me because I have a 2-minute update on Alexi Treviso. I want you guys to be here with me because I do have documents in the case, latest documents, and I have been covering the Alexi Treviso case, and I'd like to continue covering it if you guys want me to. Deborah Ferris says she knew better. In my opinion, I couldn't do my dog that way. I agree. He's going to tell us what we need to look out for next.
I would imagine.
Hold on, let me.
That the pathologist that's leading this case for the coroner is not going to take an incredibly long time in order to come back with a cause of death. And that's very important here.
Yes, it is.
Because as you mentioned off the top, there are no homicide charges at this point.
No homicide charges, guys.
What's going to be very important is the testing that they're going to do in the lab. I keep a very close eye on any information that's coming out of the coroner because that is going to be the tail of the tape.
That's it, guys.
Yes. Let's talk about that. Dr. Priya Banerjee, tell us a little bit about what you expect the forensic pathologist to be looking for at autopsy.
But listen, we've got the preliminary one that came out, and they need to do more testing. So that's what we're looking for. But we don't know if they're going to find that because we don't know how decomposed the baby was. We don't know what kind of cleaning products. We don't know a lot of things. We don't know what she did that actually physically did with the baby. We don't know. We don't know how long she had him for. We don't know if he was really alive, if she's lying. We just don't know.
So these are incredibly complex cases. I've handled not quite a few, but a few in my career. And I'm glad they're limited to that. What's going on is that you have to prove, which is incredibly difficult, whether the baby was born alive or not to then, if it was alive, to then bring murder charges. So that's a big if. It is very difficult just from, there can be so many variables as to why even a full-born or full-term baby can be born, stillborn, and even an autopsy doesn't always find the cause. And
look at her. I mean, you guys can look at her boobs or not, but I mean, what she's wearing to court. If I were a juror and she came in like that, and we're talking about a baby that was in her closet for who knows how long. I don't know. I don't know how I'd be looking. I'd definitely be side-eyeing her, guilty of motorboating. All right, Kalisa, you say if he were born alive, did she know he was born alive? Now, she's not going to tell us that, okay? She is not going to tell us that. That is what her case hangs on. I'm going to tell you that right now. Tiff says it's also disrespectful to wear red, which is one of the things in court. There's something that you want to look at that shows what to wear that's appropriate for a wedding, a funeral, a court, and that's not it. All right.
So if it's nebulous like that, they may not be able to prove the murder charges. I also don't know the condition of the body of the baby, and plastic is not breathable. And so that can promote decomposition very quickly, sort of help the tissue disintegrate more, get what's called macerated. And so that can also limit how accurate any autopsy findings are. And I just want to highlight that there have been a lot of, convictions overturned and sort of disparities, if you will, with the float test. There was a test that's shown to be erroneous where lungs float in water at autopsy.
We still have 170 people in chat. Hit that like button if you guys are a big, fat nerd like me. And I don't mean big and fat because I'm not calling anyone names. I'm saying if you're a big, fat nerd like me and you like the content here, because on Guilty of Crime, instead of using bad words, we try to use intelligent words. And I just love learning all this stuff. I know it's about decomposition and we're talking about a baby, but once you learn this stuff and you're looking at true crime in a certain way, you're always going to look at it this new way once you've learned and that's what we do here. We are still live, Malka. We're talking about the baby's decomposition and how that's going to affect her case. All right, let's go.
And that's been used to, quote unquote, prove homicides in the past, but that can be false positive with decomposition. There's a lot of, it's a test fraught with problems. So that's not thought to be reliable anymore. So you really have a lot of investigation and studies to do to even try to prove whether the baby was born alive.
Definitely. Thank you for all that, Dr. Priya. Professor Joe, back to you, please. Something I learned from the late, great Dr. Cyril Wecht is correlation, how we take what we know at autopsy and we marry it to the facts that we're gathering, from police, from investigators doing the interviewing. Professor, tell me, what are some of the questions you have that you think would be important in helping us gather the full story of what exactly happened to this little baby?
I think probably the histrionics of the pregnancy. I'd like to know, had she received any kind of prenatal care at all? I'd like to know something about her mental health. That could go to intentionality. It could go to any kind of psychopathology that's involved in this where she cannot exercise due care. But to the doctor's point just a second ago, right she is about how that bag that the baby's found kind of swaddled in towel.
So this whole case is going to be hanging on that thread, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be one of those cases that, depending on what the coroner says next, is how it's going to go and whether she walks off with a long probation, a little bit of house arrest. It's absolutely mind-boggling the amount of real life red rums that occur. Just insane. Now, that's why we're here every single day, right? And my Bluetooth cup was going off. It just started playing whatever was on my phone, which is pretty funny. It literally is playing some whatever live I was watching earlier, which is really useful, by the way. And Tiff put down a coupon code, guys. You guys want that? It's Crime Crew Fam 10 to get $10 off your merch. And these are not that expensive, so you should get one if you can, especially now with the coupon code. All right, I really like to support Tiff in the merch that she does for us. She does a lot of merch, and I mean, look at this. We were hot yesterday, and we got the cool towel with the Guilty of Crime. So I can give some of these things away. And I know you guys probably want them. All right, Shelly says, this hurts my heart because there's so many women who cannot conceive naturally and require IVF treatment. Bingo. Exactly. All right.
Holes, I think, and other cloth.
Yeah, it is.
And then placed into a bag. She's right about the decomposition. It's promoted by plastic. Here's the other thing, though, and I go back to this idea of charges pending or potential charges. That bag is non-porous. If, in fact, this child was, in fact, and it can be proven, was born alive, and you place a living child inside of a bag, what do they always tell us, even with our newborns? You can't have bags in the cradle. You can't have them. Don't allow kids to play with this. Dry cleaning bags, garbage bags. Now you're talking about placing an infant into a plastic bag. So that's why this is so very essential. I think that Dr. Weck would look at that and see if there's any corollary between that. God rest his soul, by the way.
Oh, I love that. I know how much you admired him as well, Professor.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about the delivery. Does the delivery tell us anything, Dr. Priya? I think some of us wondering if she's willing to talk about what exactly happened. Can that be clues for you as a forensic pathologist?
Oh, yes. So,
And so that's what I'm wondering, guys. I'm wondering, are there scratch marks? Is there asphyxiation marks? With the baby that age, which I'm assuming is almost full term, they're going to bruise if you're smothering them or touching them too hard. All right. All right. What do you, Jay, you know those people you went through before with the merch? Those a-holes still never sent my dog shirt. And mine like 8 months ago. I'll have to talk to you behind the scenes about that. We don't use them anymore. Let me email me, both of you guys, and we'll get it sorted out. All right.
Investigation, the more information, the better. Okay. And so any of these we ask, like, I think the police investigation is going to be huge. Who's the baby's father? Did the friends or family have any indication that she was pregnant? Yep. In her courtroom
all that
stance in that red dress, she looks rather thin in profile. She doesn't have that postpartum belly where, it takes months for the uterus to shrink back down. She doesn't look heavy. So I definitely had weight to lose from my pregnancy. And so I just want to see if it was even obvious to people around her. She was an athlete. Was she able to participate? And then, where was this baby delivered? Where was the crime scene, if you will? Yeah. Where are these towels from? Was it her house? Was anybody home? And did anybody hear the baby cry?
Exactly. So we don't know any of this stuff yet. Grandma Sherry, she was not rearrested. She was charged and they let her out on $100,000 bond. And she's living at her parents' house with a ankle monitor. All right. It's not good. It's not good, guys. All right. So now you guys, we're going to keep up on this case, but I do want you to know a similar case that I've been covering in New Mexico with Laken Trevizo. She was in court to weigh the hospital statements. And this is what they said today in the hearing. All right. So I'm going to jump on that just for a second so you guys can see it. As far as this one goes, we're looking for justice for baby boy Snelling. All right. Did she get guilty, Donna Ailton? I want to know what she got guilty for so I know how long she's going to do. Thank you for that, Thought Criminal. I appreciate you. And a lot of people, Melka, are saying it could have been postpartum. But you know what the thing is? Now, Grandma Sherry, they did have the autopsy back and she has been charged, but it hasn't been led to a red rum charge. And we need to go back and redo toxicology. And the coroner needs to go back and do an autopsy, do some other things on autopsy because it was inconclusive. All right. Guilty on all charges. Okay. All right. What's up, Vanessa? Everybody's name is back. When you're pregnant, your body tells you. Right. All right. I'm going to jump to Laken Trevizo being in court today. This is not the same case, but obviously this is a similar case. If you know, you know. Laken Trevizo was the girl at the hospital, had a baby, threw the baby in the trash can. Then she's in the hospital. Mom comes in, says, "What are you doing? I told you to be careful. If you get pregnant and you do that, these girls go away forever." Well, guess what? Supreme Court, they went to Supreme Court. They want that thrown out. And Melka and all of you guys, it's going to be a little while before we hear more about this case because everything in the case of this Kentucky cheerleader is either emotionally or physically some kind of, it's going to be a doctor that declares if she was depressed. They're all going to be medical records that I'm assuming they're not going to release very soon. All right. So we're going to have to pay attention for that. And I just quickly jump to Laken Trevizo was in court and now they're going to decide this. If those hospital admissions get out of there, I have a feeling that she's going to walk.
Supreme Court will decide whether certain evidence will be allowed in the trial of Laken Trevizo. She's an Artesia woman accused of throwing her newborn baby into a hospital bathroom trash can. Reporter Alyssa Munoz is here with what we know so far.
They don't know yet.
Sasha, the Supreme Court is going to decide whether patient-physician privilege was in play while Treviso made certain statements in front of officers. Our legal expert says this ruling will be a big decision. In 2023, police say Alexi Treviso went to Artesia General Hospital. She went originally for back pain, but later staff found out she was pregnant. Officers say she gave birth in the bathroom and put the baby in a trash can where the infant was found unresponsive. Treviso and her mother are heard on body camera footage as doctors give the news in front of officers.
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying.
This statement.
She said nothing was crying, which can be used for her, right? And another thing is they came in and gave her different shots. That could have caused that too. So I have a feeling, guys, I don't have a good feeling on this. All right. Malcolm says the baby got in the way of her stardom. Yo, Ashton Lee, what's up? All right. So Lexi Treviso has been quite a while in this. She's been in this for quite a while. And I have a feeling she's going to get out of it. But let's keep going. This is what's going to be decided next.
And others that followed are not allowed to be used in court after a district judge decided last summer it falls under physician-patient privilege. KOAP's legal expert John Day weighing in on the state's position.
That decision, the district attorney wants the state Supreme Court to say that was not applicable here, that these statements were made with other people around, therefore there's no privilege. It's going to be a really interesting issue. The state courts have generally found that privilege is pretty strong.
The DA also arguing Treviso waived her privilege by continuing to talk with officers present.
And that's where the courts have to make that determination, is where does it fall under this privilege? Is it something that the court wants to protect the idea that you should be allowed to talk to your doctors and nurses to get treatment for yourself? Or does it go beyond that and you're giving out information that's not needed for medical treatment?
In court documents, the defense accused the doctor of planning her entry into the defendant's room to get incriminating statements.
It's going to be a real fact-specific inquiry.
Remember, they had the body cam in there, and that's a HIPAA violation. All right, the hospital legal will fight. I agree, but more than that, and this was in New Mexico. The hospital workers in New Mexico made mistakes as well. That's what I'm saying. They did. They absolutely did. They made mistakes and she made a mistake. And if this gets thrown out, she's going to walk. She's going to walk with a little bit of a light sentence. We're going to be pissed off, right? We're not going to be happy.
That the court's going to have to make. One of the other things that the defense argued was that the doctors were acting sort of as agents for law enforcement. In other words, they were gathering information for law enforcement, not just for medical treatment.
Yeah. All right. Does anyone want to sit here and watch with Jay from Guilty of Crime, Donna Adelson, as they read the verdict? Let me know in chat. Hit 1 in chat if you want to stay here for another 10 minutes or so watching the verdict come in and how Donna Adelson reacts. Let me know. Hit 1 if you want to watch it. If not, I'm going to watch it by myself afterwards. So let me know. 1 if you want me to show you the Donna Adelson verdict together. All right. I'm either going to watch it with you or I'm going to watch it without you. So either way. All right. You guys want to watch that together? It looks like it. All right. Let's watch it together. And yes, Skylar, that's another one. I love you guys so much. Love you guys. So you guys are what makes Guilty of Crime the show. All right. I got people jumping out from the bushes and see Becky. Okay, everybody wants it. Let's watch it together, guys. And Teresa, I'm concerned that kids are having children. Me too. And I've been following it too. I just haven't. We're going to watch it with you, Jazz. And Lynn, shout out to Vermont, my favorite girl. All right. All right, let's go. She looks like Guilty Crime. She looks like Bullhorn Petty. All right. She's going to walk because the police stayed and listened after she said, yes, I agree. All right, let's go. We're going to watch the verdict come down with Donna Adelson. Guilty of Crime news. I'm going to be like Dolly, the GOC news. All right, let's listen. Let's see what happens. 21 is not a kid. All right. This is the verdict, y'all. I'll turn this bad boy up. There's her husband. There's Harvey. You know, I was not convinced that she was going to get convicted. I wasn't. I thought she was gonna walk, guys. This Donna Adelson. Yeah, they did take her to the hospital and they didn't let the baby die. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. The MD also spoke with the police without getting a warrant.
Person could please
All right.
rise.
Let's turn this bad boy up.
Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict? If you please can hand the verdict form to the bailiff. Having reviewed the verdict form, it is in its proper order. At this time, I will publish the verdict. We, the jury, find as follows as the count one of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
Oh my God.
Mrs. Adelson, control yourself.
Oh my God.
Count two. We, the jury, find as follows as the count two of the indictment, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count three. We, the jury, find as follows as the count three of the indictment, solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first.
You know, I don't know, man. I don't know why I have sympathy for her. I know it's another monster, and she absolutely orchestrated this, didn't give two craps about Dan Markel, didn't care about anybody but herself and what her best next move would be. And Dandelion, I think Wendy's next too. This is wild. This is wild, man. I've been following this case, and I really didn't think they were going to convict her. I don't know if they're going to get Wendy next. I mean, we're as hopeful that Jen Soto's next too, but this is the mastermind. This is Donna Adelson. If you don't know about the Adelsons, you need to get off of here afterwards and go watch Charlie Adelson's trial and the Adelsons, because yeah, I don't know. I just like see my mom and just older. I don't know, man. I just have this weird sympathy for her, but still, rightfully, she got convicted.
Degree murder. And it is signed and dated by the foreperson.
Damn.
One moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room.
Damn. I know. No. So this Donna Adelson just came back with a guilty verdict on all counts. And Victoria, I heard Jennifer Soto's doing DoorDash. Don't order her food, guys. Wendy said, not me. Wendy's done nothing wrong, according to her. All right, I can't lie. I had a weird sympathy for her too, but I know, me too. I have to talk myself out of it for this lady. But Dan Markel is who the justice is for. Thank you.
Mrs. Adelson, while this was not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury.
Yes.
If you cannot control yourself,
I know, me too.
I am going to have to determine if you'll be removed from the remainder of this process. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
No hablo inglés. No hablo inglés.
Collect yourself.
Sí,
Before the jurors are brought back in, we will take a brief 2-minute break. Please give her tissues if she needs them.
She said, ugh. Oh my God.
When the jurors are brought back into the room, does the defense wish to have the jurors polled before they are discharged?
Yeah, dude.
Very well.
She looks like a female Epstein. Oh man. She's the head honcho, man. She's like, no hablo inglés. Sí, señor. She's gonna speak Spanish now. Oh man. I know. I don't know why I feel bad for her, man. But you know what? I think Wendy better steer clear. She's next.
Please bring back in the jurors so we can conclude with their portion of the trial.
Yeah, how is a rich white lady supposed to act when she gets this type of sentence? I mean, really, though, I really thought she was going to say, ¿Por qué? Sí, no hablo inglés, señor. And then just pretend. Hey, how do you say ugh in Spanish? Oh, my goodness. Oh. Right. Of course. Hey, rich white ladies go to prison too. Martha Stewart. Ay, Dios mío. Her glasses aren't foggy. Yeah. Oh. Ay, caramba.
Members of the jury, before I discharge you for this evening, I am briefly going to poll you concerning whether your verdict is unanimous at the request of one of the parties. When you hear your last name, please appropriately respond.
I'm still in jail because everyone seems to be incarcerated nowadays. I might as well be in prison with them, right? Nobody's going anywhere. Yeah, for sure. It's about time white privilege didn't overcome. I mean, this is wild. This whole case has been just absolutely wild. I don't even know how to explain. I wouldn't know how to explain this case to anybody. And I have a feeling even if I did a short recap, it wouldn't do any justice. Do most people know what happened to Dan Markel and what played? I mean, it took how many years, guys? Has it been 11 years or 7 years now? Jay, you're freaking hysterical. I needed that. I don't know what happened. It came off because I was looking up what happened to Dan Markel. Hold on, let's finish looking at this. Yeah, there are no tears, and her glasses aren't foggy. How do you get? Is that white privilege when your glasses don't get foggy when you cry? You said ugh in Spanish to Google, and it said pua, pua. Oh my God. 2014, he died. So it's been 11 years, guys.
Discharged, please listen carefully.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges.
Isn't that Dan Markel's mom? Dan Markel's mom and dad
are enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases.
Yeah.
We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror.
Are they doing the sentencing now, guys? I was trying to look for a quick recap because this case it's also one that Grish covers, guys, and we all love Grish. Everybody's been asking, where's Grish? You guys want to replay the guilty reaction? Okay, I can do that. My goodness, Donna Adelson, you better tell Wendy to run. That's all I gotta say. Let's see real quick. We'll do a quick. Oh no, ay Dios mío! I don't understand English.
At this time, I will publish the verdict.
I know,
We, the
right?
jury, find as follows as the count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself.
He's been waiting to tell her that, I guarantee
Count
you.
2. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 2 of the indictment. Conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 3 of the indictment. Solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder.
Hey, man.
And it is signed and dated by the foreperson.
When you're the head of the mafia.
Members of the jury, the bailiff will
Yes.
escort you to the jury room.
Take this bitch out of here. You know what? I got to tell you guys, with Georgia Kappelman, with her, she has had this passion for the last 11 years. I guess I couldn't have expected anything different. I mean, Georgia Kappelman is a beast, guys. You guys got to know that. I mean, literally, she's a beast. If you guys saw her closing arguments, it's just wild. Did you guys know who that is? Georgia Kappelman, the one that play stupid games, win stupid prize. I mean, this is just this. And she just gave it to them, and she's been doing this for 11 years. How does she have that kind of drive in her? I just don't know. She's freaking
Issues if she needs them.
Let's see some.
When the jurors are brought back into the room,
Shut the F up. I'm going to show you real quick, just in case you don't know. I want to show you who she is. If you've never seen this, I will prompt you. What's up, Kim Libra Queen? How you doing? So everybody asked, who is Donna Adelson? I'm going to give you a quick recap so that you can go and watch the trial, go watch the retrial, go watch the thugs that did that and how everything played out. Justice for Dan Markell. Who in the heck is this old lady and why is she crying? Here you go. And her daughter. I don't know if she's ever going to get caught. So in case you guys didn't know, that was the victim, and 2 hired killers shot Dan Markell in his garage. There's Wendy Adelson. It was her husband that got gunned down, you guys. And she's testified against her mom and her brother. She's got this testifying down. And the one that gained the most from it was her. I've watched her guilty reaction 32 times. Oh my God. All right. Well, this is how it all began with this lady right here. This is her daughter. She is a backstabbing beezy against everyone. Do not trust this lady. Yeah, man. I'm so surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised. All right, that's it, guys. That's it. That's done. I'm not surprised at all. I am not surprised, but I am. And justice for Dan Markell. You guys go and watch that. We haven't covered that. The daughter has walked free, guys. She's been free the last 11 years. All right, guys, this is awesome hanging out with you guys. I loved you telling me about the case and recapping it and going over Alexi Treviso, even 2 very similar cases. But let's not forget, we're here to make sure that this person, not that person, this person is delivered justice and for the right things, and she doesn't just walk away. So let's keep a radar on on this cheerleader gone wrong, Laken Snelling, and see what happens. Harvey may be next. Grandma Sherry, good to see you. No, don't leave. Yeah, the Latin Kings. Love you guys. All right, y'all. Remember, keep your eye on the prize here. And just know that we hope that justice gets served for baby Snelling. All right. People say this chick is a cheerleader, a beauty queen, and a freaking bully. All right. And you're very welcome. Follow Brick Road and everybody else. Have a wonderful night. I love you. And don't forget, tomorrow's Friday. So we're going to do something extraordinary like we do on Fridays. Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?